Oh yes, my Straight Dog family, you hear that theme song and you know it's time for another edition of Straight Talk and time for me to say good night to the world because we are on the World Wide Web. I say greetings, I should say, to the world because there are different time zones and I want to greet you, my Kittitian division and Caribbean diaspora, wherever you are in the world. And of course, St. Kitts and Nevis, I am duty bound to say a very pleasant night to you and to the entire Caribbean. But welcome all to Straight Talk, and I thank those who continue to share the link. Remember, when you do share that link, we do get first timers, and I want to ask you not to stop that noble gesture of sharing the link, because we want the whole world to know what's going on in St. Kitts here and Nevis. But for the first timers, Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. Let us in the process, let us strive to get St. Kitts and Nevis back to that enviable position of being number one in the entire world. On this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you, my Straight Dog family, on yet another occasion. And each time I'll pledge to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness, because I'm always reminded by the words of a favorite hymn of mine written by Thomas Jackson and Franz Joseph Haydn, which goes something like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and the right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. So let's seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. So my Straight Dog family, again, welcome wherever you are. Some of you are in Africa, there's some of you in Europe, there's some of you in Asia, and there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I will say good morning, and I can say good afternoon as well, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. My Straight Dog family, we are joined together with people all across the Federation, all across the Caribbean, all across the world, as a matter of fact. And there's some of you we may have met. Some of you we will never meet. There's some who will agree with the positions of truth that we do advance on the program, and some we will disagree. And nothing's wrong with that, because we also always promote what I call diversity of views. So nothing's wrong with that, like I said, but I'll have a difficulty if we ever start to become disagreeable. And I must remind you of that each time. But let us in the meantime thank Almighty God for helping us to understand, oh, how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Yes, we really need unity at this time, especially in our country. And I strongly believe that only unity can get us back to some semblance of, tranquility, some semblance of good order, and some semblance of fairness, my Straight Talk family. But let's hope and pray. Let's just hope and pray, my Straight Talk family, that one day we will all sing his praise together. For the first time, as I also want to inform you that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls at some stage in the program. And we also entertain your emails. And if you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your monitors. The numbers are there on your screen, 646-829-6672. That's the overseas line. And the local line, 869-663-6672. Of course, if you're calling from the local area, you only dial 663-6672. And some of you like what I call the cloak of anonymity. So we give you access via our email platform, and that address is also on your monitors. Straight Talk Patches, that's one word, at gmail.com. We also provide access via our for those who have rather the Alexa app. We heard live on Alexa, thanks to the owner. Just say, Alexa, play Massive Vibes Radio, and we are connected across the world. So we thank the owner there for providing that access at modest cost, I can quickly add. And as we usually begin with our observations in review, tonight I want to inform you pretty early that my thesis, which is normally done after my observations in review, and following my thesis will include your calls, your emails, as mentioned earlier, to allow your full participation, because on Straight Talk, you have your say. Yes, we allow you to have your say. And after which we move into our thesis, which I have titled tonight, CBI Pirates and Buccaneers in and outside cabinet. Would you believe that, my Straight Talk family? And don't you move the platform, don't change the platform. Just spread the word that Straight Talk is live on YouTube and the platform Facebook. So, and I know that many of you send the messages. I read them after, but I'm so occupied. I recognize you, all those of you who are on YouTube and Facebook. Welcome again. And as one of our observations tonight, quickly, we are still demanding transparency, and we are demanding that the Social Security Board get up to date with the posting of the public information, the actuarial review, the audited financial statements. I am aware that they are already audited. Madam Chair Janet Harris provide information. It's our information, it's public information. And to that CEO as well, Lord, yes, you move around in a fancy car, almost costing $300,000, I'm told, or more. Then do your duty. Let's just know what's happening with the financial statements, my dear brother, please, and the chairperson. I don't expect anything better from the deputy chair, Winky Curtis Martin. But come on, Mrs. Harris, as a former financial secretary, I am not going to grow weary of calling this out, because it's our business and we need to know our business. There's no reason why just up to 2019 statements are on the website, and I think the actual review from 2020, there was a review done and already approved. So please, let's get it going. There's been a debate in recent days about the 8% salary equivalent to to double salary. But I didn't get involved in that nonsense talk, really, because, first of all, my strongest weak point is mathematics, but I knew something was wrong with that. So I'm happy for those who joined in, and for my teacher, my former teacher, who put it right for them at 12% would be a double salary. 12% increase, that is. So people are still talking about Tabasco and wonder why we are going back to the days and putting people in the fields to pick pepper. Just like we used to cut sugar cane. We're now going to pick pepper. And that's what Dr. July has brought for this country. Going back to the old plantocracy days. But my Straight Talk family, I really want to go straight into, or quickly into, my thesis for tonight, because lots of things have been happening as it relates to our CBI. As I said, my thesis, I have titled tonight, CBI Pirates and Buccaneers in an Outside Cabinet. And my Straight Talk family, for several years now, the Citizenship by Investment program of St. Kitts Nevis has come under the microscope of the United States of America, Canada, and Europe. And for all the same reasons that are being touted today. However, there seems to be sustained attacks, not just on the St. Kitts Nevis program, which is one of the oldest, if not the oldest program, but sustained attacks on all the programs of the Caribbean countries, mainly in the OECS. My Straight Talk family seems to be the order of the day. Now, in recent months, matters have reached the courts in St. Lucia. Matters have reached the courts in Dominica, my Straight Talk family. And matters have reached the courts in the USA. And matters have reached the courts right here in St. Kitts and Nevis. My Straight Talk family, a few days ago, nonetheless, MSR Media Limited, that should be, launched its program World Impact. My Straight Talk family, World Impact. It was launched a few days ago. It has caused quite a lot of debate here in St. Kitts and Nevis. But he also appeared on, that's the MSR Media owner, Philip Martinez, also appeared on DBS St. Lucia thereafter, in what appears to be a heightened campaign targeting governments and political leaders. As I just said, the face behind this campaign is Philip Martinez. But when I listened to Prime Minister July's response, because he came in for a thrashing from Martinez, but when I listened to Prime Minister July's response, my Straight Talk family, I was so disappointed. Not that I expected anything better, but because Straight Talk, as a guardrail of democracy in this country, and as your host, I am duty bound to listen to him. Only reason why. And truth be told, he reminded me of two things when I listened. It was tough to listen to, always tough to listen to Prime Minister July. But he reminded me of two things, and one, an old saying from my grandmother Eunice, Liburd Taylor, may her soul rest in peace, who always said that wherever you find a liar, you find a thief. It's another thing he reminded me about. He reminded me about my days when I used to be jogging pretty early in the morning. I loved to be on the road at 4:30 and 4:45. I used to pump those roads all down to Frigate Bay and beyond sometimes. And as a jogger in the early morning, I'm sure if you do that, you normally expect to find on the road individuals who are jogging like yourself. Or you'll find 3 individuals on the road at that time at early in the morning. One, you'll find a policeman or a policewoman. You'll find a drain cleaner, or let's say the environmental workers. And or the third person you'll find on the road that early in the morning, believe it or not, is a scamp, a thief. So all these things really went through my mind just listening to July. I'm not making any inference here whatsoever, but it's exactly what transpired, so I'm just sharing it with you. So I have decided to employ the term pirates and Buccaneers in the context of our Citizenship by Investment program, now CBI program, to describe these newly ascended individuals or cabinet who continue to exploit the program for personal reasons at the expense of transparency, integrity, and the long-term well-being of our country. St. Kitts and Nevis. Because while these modern-day pirates, I call them, while they are not swashbuckling figures with swords and ships like those old days, they can certainly be found in the halls of power, and definitely they are found in government circles. In some cases, my Stray Dog family, they are public officials or people with political connections who use their influence to manipulate the system for personal or financial advantage. And I can reflect on our Attorney General, Garth Lucifer Wilkin. From the day he was appointed to the office of Attorney General, he behaved like a pirate himself, who was commissioned by a cabinet or a government, my Stray Dog family, to carry out their political activities. Remember, he introduced the 70-30 rule, or as he called it, he introduced the rule of man, my Stray Dog family. I remember this very well.
We are at a proverbial fork in the road in our history. And to lead that charge, lead that change, lead us down the right path, is the member for St. Christopher A. That is why he appointed me to be the anti-corruption minister. I am the anti-corruption minister. Let the people in this country know. Let it be known that this, the people's government, does not tolerate and will never tolerate abuses of the treasury by anyone. A new day and a better way is upon us. The people have asked for openness, fairness, accountability, and good governance from the people who sit on this side. That time is now to this country. Madam Speaker, I am proud personally to be a man of action, not one who just likes to bang his mouth. I can beat my chest and boast that I am a hard worker.
Yes, my Stray Dog family, I'm sure we all recall when he stood up in the parliament and he beat his chest. And even more recently, he threatened you, my Stray Dog family in the diaspora. He threatened to extradite you. You remember that, my Stray Dog, I'm sure, my Stray Dog family. He threatened as well to extradite you.
I know they have Kittitians and Nevisians living in the States who believe because the States allow you to say anything they want, they could say anything they want. Stay up there. Come out of our internet, right? If you do that, we can send an MLAT to the US. We could find you, we could prosecute you, and we could get you extradited to St. Kitts to face charges.
Imagine that, my street dog family. But the role of government in CBI scandals is something I'll first address. Because here in St. Kitts Nevis, our CBI program is closely tied to government officials, my street dog family. Our CBI program is closely tied to government officials, and it is a significant source of revenue, you must have heard. However, the immense wealth that the program generates can also and has also invited abuse. Government officials, legislators, or bureaucrats, my street dog family, involved in these programs can find themselves in positions to take bribes, to divert funds or overlook corrupt practices in exchange for kickbacks, shady business deals, or political support. The Prime Minister, Dr. July, spoke just yesterday about the bribery, or perhaps you can even call it extortion, my street dog family, as it relates to the program. He said this, my street dog family.
Subsequently, one of the persons in the videos that he have, and I want you to listen to this, approached the government. And one of the things that was said to me and to the government was if we wanted this to go away, we need to pay 40 to 100 million US dollars in my office. How can a man enter in my office saying to me that I have to take 40 to 100 million dollars out of the government's treasury to settle this case that a fraudster has brought forward, who should not have been in the first place?
My street dog family, whereas it is extremely difficult to believe anything that the Prime Minister says, the fact is, from what he outlines, tells us that therein lies the potential to create a pirate-like environment in which public institutions can hijack or be hijacked, I should say, by unscrupulous individuals who see the CBI as a tool to enrich themselves rather than promote a legitimate mechanism for national development. Someone want $40 million? Do you believe that, my street dog family? But in the case of St. Kitts and Nevis, the accusations of fraud, corruption, and money laundering that have surrounded the CBI program, especially in most recent times, certainly point to government involvement, either through direct actions or through negligence. Some key concerns in our situation include the lack of due diligence. There are concerns about whether the individuals granted citizenship through the CBI program have undergone adequate background checks. Corrupt officials may turn a blind eye to applicants with questionable reputations, including those involved in organized crime, tax evasion, or other illicit activities. We don't know, for example, if Philippe Martinez was telling the truth about his encounter with the former chairman of the CBI Board of Governors when he said this to us, my street dog family.
After the election, I called, literally the next day, I called Sylvester Anthony. Now that's a name that's going to be very interesting. And they say, meet me at the Park Hyatt. Literally, they were celebrating. I think it was even the day that Drew was inaugurated. He came and I said, look, here's my phone, here are the documents. I want you to review with me the evidence that I have of corruption, fraud in the Citizenship by Investment Program. He said, no. I'm not going to blow $1 billion business because you have some evidence of fraud and corruption. He refused to look at the evidence.
And my Street Talk family, we cannot confirm the veracity of this accusation. But there has been misuse of funds, we are told. The vast sums of money generated by the CBI program are supposed to go toward development projects, infrastructure, or social programs. If government officials or connected individuals funnel these funds into their own pockets or use them for political purposes, it could be seen as a form of plunder, a modern-day form of piracy. What about political corruption as well? Because in some cases, those with political influence may use the CBI as leverage to secure votes, support support other favors, I should say. It's like a Buccaneer mentality, where deals are made behind closed doors that create a culture of political patronage, where the interests of the people are sidelined in favor of those who can line the pockets of officials, my Street Talk family. And tonight, when I refer to a Buccaneering cabinet or government, I'm attempting to describe the type of cabinet or government that we have here that operates in a ruthless, unscrupulous, or ethically questionable manner with no integrity whatsoever, my Street Talk family. And the term implies to a cabinet that operates outside the bounds of legality or conventional ethics. Reflect on the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw Museum. The Prime Minister said that they had $4 million to build that or construct that museum. Rehabilitate that building. We understand, and we have not been able to verify that that $4 million increased 100% to $8 million. But the fact is that construction or those construction works at the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw Museum has abruptly halted. It has stopped. Nothing is going on there, my Street Talk family. Think about the water tanks. Some people call them the water buckets. 1,000 buckets were procured at a cost of $5.8 million by a big labor man called Cashley Allers. My Street Talk family. And we are taken aback to learn that going on to 2 years having procured those water buckets, costing $5,800 per bucket. They are lying in people's yard, thrown around in people's yard. And we was taken aback when about a week and a half ago, a lady called into the Prime Minister and said this.
Blessed good morning, Honorable Prime Minister. What I'm going to look after you when you were small that you reach that Prime Minister. But what I want you to think for me, my children them ain't getting on the ice castle though. My children them ain't getting on the water tanks. Empress and Ingo.
I want the names.
To help them
No
get
problem.
the water tank. I'm good Prime Minister.
Casilda.
You take care.
Thank you very much. Yes, we are distributing the water tanks. The water tanks we are using, especially when we had the drought situation, so that people can have a large receptacle to fill up. We continue to distribute them, but this is Casilda, and I would ask my office to look into it and to see where we are with it.
But why would it take 2 years, my Straight Dog family, to distribute 1,000 water tanks? And this problem still exists. People don't get water. My water by now is gone. I won't get water till in the morning, God's willing. There are people in Taylor's, in Wade's Garden, in Shadwell East and West, and some parts of St. Peter's. Their water goes at 9 in the morning and don't return until 5 the next day. My Straight Dog family, these are the conditions under which many people live here in St. Kitts. My Straight Dog family, it is said that corruption and ugliness have always been a part of our political culture. But there are varying degrees of ugliness, I may add. When a Labour cabinet, for example, with a leader like Dr. July are in charge, it gets particularly ugly because the philosophical constraints against ugliness are so weak. When the primary role of government is believed to be to serve the interests of a buccaneering business class, what constraints are there to define what is appropriate or what is inappropriate? In this buccaneering culture, the challenge is to subvert the rules, to find the loopholes, tell lies, and to see how far you can push things without getting caught. When the Buccaneers put their own people in government offices that are designed to constrain the excesses of their buccaneering, there simply are no constraints. And the Buccaneers run riot, as we say in colloquial parlance. We have seen the results in the last 2.5 years. We have seen the results from August 2022. Exploitation of the CBI program. As in any system with large financial flows, there may be private individuals, whether within or outside of government, who act as intermediaries or fixers. These individuals can facilitate fast-track citizenship for a fee, bypassing normal protocols and even bribing officials to overlook irregularities or red flags. This is reminiscent of the pirates of the past, who would raid ships and ports for their own benefit without regard for the law or the consequences for the people affected. Money laundering and hidden interests is one of the more common abuses of CBI programs worldwide, we are told. Is the use of citizenship for illicit purposes is another concern, such as money laundering or hiding assets. Government officials involved in these schemes may knowingly turn a blind eye or may be complicit in facilitating the movement of illicit funds across borders, using the CBI to grant access to financial secrecy and favorable tax havens. My Straight Dog family. But let's examine the legacy of our program here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And the Citizenship by Investment program, as we have heard so many times, was introduced 40 years ago in 1984 and has at various points faced allegations of such abuses. In recent years, there have been claims that certain individuals involved in the program have used their positions to benefit from questionable deals or to conceal their wealth. For instance, some CBI agents and consultants have been accused of misrepresenting applicants, providing false documentation, or being involved in criminal networks. And Straight Talk looked at the economic citizenship program before and warned that it continues to attract the considerable attention of the USA, Canada, and Europe. And such attention dates back as far as 2006. And this can be gleaned from the International Narcotics Control Strategy Report, the INCSR, which is an annual report by the Department of State to Congress. And Volume 2 of the report stated, and I quote, that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis continues to be vulnerable to money laundering and other financial crimes. An area of concern to the USA was the inadequately regulated economic citizenship program in St. Kitts and Nevis, and it stated quite clearly that St. Kitts and Nevis should curtail its economic citizenship program. But the same issues exist today in 2024. It is not always clear how deep the corruption runs. But the public spat, my Straight Talk family, by recent benefactor of the program, Philippe Martinez. And irrespective of his past, it suggests that there's growing disillusionment with how the program is being managed. And for full disclosure, my Straight Talk family, Philippe Martinez is a convicted fraudster. But when Martinez, a convicted fraudster, can call our Prime Minister a liar, my Straight Talk family, we must be concerned. We must be concerned when Philippe Martinez, a convicted fraudster, I say, would call Terence Michael July a liar. When someone who has financial investments in the CBI speaks out about widespread fraud and money laundering, it raises questions about whether certain government officials are complicit in or turning a blind eye to such activities. Prime Minister, or Philip Martinez, I should say, met with Prime Minister July before the 2022 elections, my Straight Talk family, and he said this.
I had 2 or 3 meetings with Terence Drew before the election. And I told him, I said, listen, I don't know if you're going to win, but if you do win, you should be aware that there is a massive problem in your citizenship by investment program. Fraud, money laundering, corruption. And he said, I understand, and I guarantee you that if I get in power, I will fix it. I said, please, because we have invested in your country. He said, please, if I win, keep investing because I will need the investment.
Yes. But in the most extreme cases, my Straight Talk family, the government itself seemed to have become a part of the piracy, operating as a business where power is bartered for wealth. Please continue investing. I will need your investment. And the public good is sacrificed for personal or political gain, my Straight Talk family. And these actions don't just harm the reputation of our country. They also create an environment of distrust where legitimate investors and citizens feel betrayed by the very system that was meant to provide economic opportunity, my Straight Talk family. And yes, in a metaphorical sense, there can be modern day pirates and buccaneers in governments involved in citizenship by investment programs, especially when public officials or connected officials exploit the system for personal enrichment or to further criminal enterprises. The lack of transparency combined with the high stakes involved in such lucrative programs makes CBI a fertile ground for corruption, fraud, and the kind of unscrupulous behavior we might associate with piracy, but with a modern financial twist. For St. Kitts and Nevis, or any country with a CBI program, the challenge is to create robust systems of oversight and transparency that prevent this kind of piracy from taking root. Only through strict regulation, accountability, and enforcement can the CBI programs live up to their original purpose of fostering legitimate growth and prosperity for our nation. Otherwise, the islands could become a metaphorical haven for a new breed of buccaneers who plunder the wealth of the land without regard for the long-term consequences. Philippe Martinez has a checkered past, and yes, he served time in a French jail. But I am more inclined to believe the story presented by Martinez. Hear me? Philippe Martinez has a checkered past. He served time in a French jail. But I am more inclined to believe the story presented by Philippe Martinez. And the response of Dr. July told us what we already know. We knew about this a long time ago.
That he was convicted for fraud. And I want to read it to you, because it's critically important. Because it goes to the crux of the matter of what I would discuss and some of these things. So I will read it for you. Just bear with me a bit. All right. So let's delve into it a little bit. So a report was done, and the report provides a comprehensive analysis of who this gentleman is, his career, his activities, and particularly focusing on certain areas, especially in St. Kitts and Nevis. The report delves into dealings in St. Kitts and Nevis. The report introduces dealings in initial attempts in establishing what I would say opportunities in the Caribbean. And I will read this part for you as we go. Mr. Martinez is a French film producer, director, screenwriter, and actor with a career that spans some decades.
And my Street Dog family, the country knows that. We've heard about that. That's not anything new, Prime Minister July. And July told us, like I said, he told us that someone tried to extort $40 to $100 million, like I said, from the Treasury. He told us this, as I said before.
Subsequently, one of the persons in the videos that he have, and I want you to listen to this, approached the government. And one of the things that was said to me and to the government was if we wanted this to go away, we need to pay 40 to 100 million US dollars in my office.
My Street Dog family.
How can a man enter in my office saying to me that I have to take 40 to 100 million dollars out of the government's treasury to settle this case that a fraudster has brought forward, who should not have been in the first place?
And my Street Dog family, We all must be asking, as I did, but what case does July have with Martinez? What case does he have? Didn't July say to us some time ago that he was not implicated in anything? He said this to the nation some time ago, my straight dog family.
Nobody can implicate me in anything. I know there is a part of it that talks about a judicial review, that those who would have gotten citizenship under the prison project, that they should be revoked. We introduce criminalization for anybody who would have undersold or who would have, misrepresented the true cost of our citizenship by investment. So we did not wait on anybody to do that. That is why we know we are ahead of the game. Nobody should be able to take any government to court for good governance. You should have good governance from the beginning. And
my straight dog family, we may ask the question, is St. Kitts Nevis really ahead of the game? As yes, the OECS countries may have signed a memorandum of agreement. But while we have passed legislation criminalizing underselling, as he says, the other CBI countries have not. While we have passed legislation making it mandatory to establish escrow accounts, my straight dog family, it is also not mandatory, as the others just request a confirmation that the monies are transferred into a bank account. The big issue, though, is the payment of commissions. Is the payment of commissions discounting or underselling? No wonder St. Kitts Nevis has been left behind, my straight dog family. But my straight dog family, there have been some new developments that caused Prime Minister July to postpone his cabinet press conference yesterday. Remember, he postponed his cabinet press conference and instead had his round table. Dr. July was forced to postpone his cabinet press conference because Philippe Martinez made this stunning announcement, my straight dog family, which caught everybody by surprise.
Over the past 10 days, Mr. Bulora, the president of my company, who is a former US government official, went to St. Kitts and Nevis so that with my lawyer in St. Kitts, Mr. Damien Kelsick, could meet Mr. Denzel Douglas, Foreign Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. They had several meetings with Mr. Douglas and his legal advisors. Those meetings were very, very important. Mr. Bulora is now back in the United States, and he has given me a full report on the content of those meetings. Based on that report, I have decided to instruct my lawyer to release Denzel Douglas from the RICO case. He's out. Denzel Douglas has discussed with my team in a very open way and has understood the gravity and the catastrophic possible scenario that could come on the country. Before
yes, Denzel Douglas, according to Philippe Martinez, is out. Has released him from the RICO lawsuit. But what is going on in the July cabinet? Is it falling apart? Remember, Denzel Douglas had earlier spoken about what was happening inside and outside of the cabinet or the government. Remember, he said this, my straight dog family.
The point I want to make, Madam Speaker, is that we cannot allow persons for their own personal ambitions and gains, persons who might have become bankrupt, persons who are still having problems with this government and persons in this government, to take out and empty their claw on us here in this country with regard to the citizenship by investment program. Because some people are bent on destroying the program. And we shall not allow that to happen here in this country at all. We don't care who it is, where they come from, what has been their track record.
And my excuse me, and my straight dog family. My straight dog family. The scathing rebuke, yes, the severe criticism or reprimand that July received from Philippe Martinez on Monday or Tuesday evoked strong and bitter condemnation of Philippe Martinez all across the Federation, and which heightened the expression of disapproval or disappointment of his leadership. Well, that should be evoke strong bitter condemnation of Prime Minister July all across the Federation, and as I said, heighten the expression of disapproval or disappointment of his leadership in a very intense and direct way. The kind of rebuke was pointed, emotionally charged, and must have made Dr. July feel the weight of the continuing criticism. As a friend of mine would say, that we have a good paradise afflicted by bad leadership. The nation suffers and or deteriorates under this incompetent Prime Minister July due to poor, ineffective, or harmful leadership. So he comes with his round table of hand-picked journalists, my straight dog family. He comes with his round table of hand-picked journalists with prepared softball questions from these, what I call, palace guards. Dr. July was obviously prepared for the questions about his mishandling of our CBI program, which he said that he better understood, my straight dog family. He said this.
And so after I better understood, and we understood, we distanced ourselves from him because of this past. And I will never risk the integrity of our country or the PM's office or the CBI program with such a character. It's a serious matter. The MSR gentleman has made repeated statements in various media, including on programming that he himself produced, which are misleading at best and in some instances flatly untrue. We're dealing with somebody who is convicted of fraud and spent jail time for fraud, who should not be in our program in the first place.
My straight dog family, I could hear you chuckling. But July had the gall to chastise, I should say, the palace guards he invited to the round table. He took me by surprise when he said this.
That's why I asked, have this been researched? Have the media done its job? This is who he is. And therefore the question is perplexing. How did he get into the program under Timothy Harris? How did he get in the program in May 2022?
And if you ask me, my straight dog family, it is a fair question. Though, how he got into the program in May 2022. It is strange, however, that everybody knew that Philippe Martinez was the crook, except the snake Mark Brantley, who Martinez claims as a friend, my straight dog family, a close friend at that.
Mark is a close friend of mine. I know that a lot of the propaganda media in St. Kitts have always assumed that my legal action were some type of political plot between Mark Brantley and Terence Drew to get rid of Harris and Denzel Douglas. I think that you're going to find out today that it's far from the truth.
But the truth is that the snake Mark Brantley facilitated the entry of Philippe Martinez into Nevis during the heart of COVID-19 after Martinez was declared persona non grata in Barbados. Mayor Motley, Prime Minister, even refused to meet with him. But Brantley opened his arms, and the NIA Treasury, to the tune of $400,000 per month for 2 long years, my straight dog family. Philippe Martinez also found friends and advisors in Ghana, and believe it or not, in Garth Lucifer Wilkins' father, as well, my straight dog family.
I asked Terence Drew to come to meet me at my hotel in St. Kitts with Dwyer Estefan and my dear friend and advisor, Charles Wilkins.
Yes, Charles Wilkins, Lucifer's father, and Ghana, my straight dog family. Martinez miscalculated his friendship, however, with the cabinet and the influence of the law firm KWF, Kelsick, Wilkin and Ferdinand. Also, his friendship and influence of Dr. Dulai, my straight dog family. But how is the question he asks? And it all started in Nevis, my straight dog family, like I said, back in 2020. And according to Philippe Martinez, he was happy in Nevis. My straight dog family, he was happy, he said, in Nevis.
MSR Media, we were very happy in Nevis. We did a lot of movies. The only thing is that we got criticized by the head of the CBI program that we were paying the people too much and that it was not a good example for the other company. But then at the end of 2021, Harris, Nisbet, and his wife told me that it was absolutely crucial that we shoot a film in Belmont Farm, Kittitian Hill, right? That we've shot a lot of movies in Nevis, and it was crucial that we go to St. Kitts because they wanted to have a lot of publicity for the site, who, as you know, has been abandoned and was another CBI disaster for a long time. So we did it. We shot the movie, and then the government at the time, Harris and Nisbet, tried to convince us to buy Kittitian Hill, Belmont Farm. We looked into it. We were close to make a deal, but then at the last minute, they told us the real amount of the debt of the site and the amount of litigation involved. We backed out.
And my straight dog family, the idea of buying access to a country's privileges, I should say, its rights and benefits in exchange for a financial contribution is one way of framing citizenship as a commodity or luxury rather than a birthright or earned status. Thus, the idea of citizenship by investment pirates and buccaneers indeed applies to certain government officials or figures who may misuse or exploit citizenship by investment, CBI programs, for personal gain, often at the expense of the public or national interest. These individuals, whether directly involved in government or in positions of influence, can be seen as modern-day pirates or buccaneers, using their power or connections to profit from these programs in ways that are ethically or legally questionable. And Terence Michael July knows that too well. That is why he convinced Philippe Martinez that he would need him as an investor if he won the election. And he won, albeit by default. And you would not believe what happened, my straight dog family, in August 2022. He spoke to the PBO approved in May 2022. But he increased the shares assigned to MSR in May 2022 from 300 units, I believe, to 600 units, my straight dog family. Then 1 year and 6 months later, hear this, 1 year and 6 months later, under the Terence Michael July administration, this is what happened, my straight dog family. We always provide you with the facts. Terence Michael July and his cabinet executed this agreement on the 13th of November 2023. Just last year, my straight dog family, just last year, Terence Michael July executed that contract. Have you seen it, my straight dog family? Take your time and read it. Take your time and read that for yourselves, my straight dog family. Because Terence Michael July, all he does is to tell lies. Have you seen that, my straight dog family? Have you seen that, I ask you? Take your time and read it. Read it, my straight dog family. Read it for yourselves, my straight dog family. It's the investment agreement between the government of St. Kitts and Nevis and the MSR group of companies dated the 13th of November 2023. That's just about 1 year ago. But look at the right-hand corner, my straight dog family. Look at the right-hand corner and you'll see the counterparts and the signatories. You've seen signed by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, Immigration and Citizenship of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, acting on behalf of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, and signed by Glenroy Blanchett. But look at the other signature, the witness signature, my straight dog family. Look at it. Examine the signatures again, my straight dog family. the Permanent Secretary Blanchett, and witnessed by Garth Lucifer Wilkin. Yes, my Straight Talk family. Do you believe this? And they talk about MSR. They're the ones who signed that agreement, who executed that investment agreement, my Straight Talk family. And the Attorney General, he says, signed by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, Immigration and Citizenship of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, acting on behalf of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, before and in the presence of the Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkins. These are the kind of dishonest men we have leading our country today, my Straight Talk family. And talking about he don't know about MSR. Look at the agreement. Investment agreement between the government of St. Christopher and Nevis and the MSR group of companies dated the 13th of November 2023. This investment agreement, it states, is entered into this 13th day of November. The effective date between the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, with headquarters situate at government headquarters. And look at it, my Straight Talk family. Look at the signatures. Yes, Philippe Martinez is signed. And yes, Mr. Beasley signed on his behalf. But Glenroy Blanchett has signed as well. And Garth Lucifer Wilkin has witnessed that agreement of the 13th November 2003, my Straight Talk family. But that's nothing yet. Look at the terms of the agreement, my Straight Talk family. I have posted the terms of the agreement on your monitors, on your screens. Read them carefully, my Straight Talk family. Read the terms of the agreement carefully. Take your time. We're not in a hurry. These people should not be in office, my Straight Talk family. July and his cabinet should not be in office. They are hypocrites. They are dishonest. They lack integrity. They lack transparency. They lack everything, my Straight Talk family. Look at that. Look at the terms of the agreement, my Straight Talk family. Look at clause 2. It reads, this agreement shall be valid from the effective date of, and the effective date I showed you before, the 13th of November, until November the 30th, 2029, and may be renewed on terms agreeable to all parties. Look at the sale of public benefit units. And my Straight Talk family, look at subsection 3.1. Number of designated public benefits. The cabinet has designated MSR hotels as an approved public benefactor, and MSR hotels shall be entitled to sell 250 public benefit units in compliance with the terms of this agreement, valued at $250,000 per unit, to raise capital of $62.5 million. We understand that the hotel was sold for $8 million. Look at section 2. The cabinet has designated MSR Media as an approved public benefactor, and MSR Media SKN shall be entitled to sell 35 public benefit units per movie in compliance with the terms of this agreement, valued at $250,000 $250,000 per unit to raise capital of $8.75 million, my Straight Talk family. That's US dollars. And again, the cabinet has designated MSR Media SKN Limited as an approved public benefactor, and MSR Media shall be entitled to 15 PBUs per television series episode in compliance with the terms of the agreement, valued at US $250,000 per unit, my Straight Talk family. And it goes on about the construction PBUs, the capital raise on the sale of the designated hotel and construction PBUs, a total value of $62 million US dollars, my Straight Talk family. $62 million. That's about 180,000 million EC dollars. And again, my Straight Talk family, no matter what you hear Drew says, let Terrence Michael Drew deny this. He signed the agreement, or they executed the agreement in the 13th of November 2023. So he said he now got to know Philippe Martinez. What took him so long? When we've been saying here, right here on Straight Talk, my Straight Talk family, that Philippe Martinez was declared persona non grata in Barbados. He was deported from Barbados. And Mark Brantley opened his arms and the Nevis treasury to this convicted fraudster, my Straight Talk family. So what is July coming to tell us tonight or today? He's a liar. My Straight Talk family, Terrence Michael July, I submit, is like Christopher Columbus.
Christopher Columbus, liar. Christopher Columbus is a plastic liar. And yes, he's a liar.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, Terrence Michael July. Don't fool yourself. As Burning Spear just sang, Terrence Michael July is like Christopher Columbus, a damn blasted liar. And my Straight Talk family, in conclusion, Gada and I, we have not seen eye to eye for a long time. No, we have not agreed on several issues. And he raised an issue, and I do not totally agree with Gada on this one. Gada said this, my Straight Talk family. He said this. Gada said this, my Straight Talk family.
It does not help the government's position that its principal legal advisor has stated that the Galaxy jail thing was a good scam. If that was his opinion, then why did his administration not act in accordance with it? You can't embrace a good scam. You can't countenance a good scam or a bad scam or any scam at all. You distance yourself from it and you punish as a government. So if that was his opinion, why did his administration not act in accordance with it? And if he changed his opinion, which of course he's entitled to do, the obvious question would be, why? Ladies and gentlemen, with respect, not personal animus. I'm just trying to make the case here for us to observe the truth and be fair. This situation makes one wonder if it is not the best thing in the interest of all concerned for Mr. Garth Wilkin to resign from the post of Attorney General.
Well, my Straight Talk family, I have said before that Garth Lucifer Wilkin should resign from the post of Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs. So yes, he must resign. But Terence Michael July must also resign for his misrepresentation of the country and his condoning of wrongdoing in the country. In St. Kitts and Nevis, for instance, the CBI program has faced criticism over the years, including allegations of corruption and mismanagement. Public figures and business people have at times accused certain government officials of turning a blind eye to fraud and money laundering, as Philip Martinez is doing. When individuals close to government entities or those connected to the CBI program have been caught up in scandal or corruption, worse yet, those in government leadership, it raises serious concerns about the oversight of such programs and the role of government figures in enabling or benefiting from these illicit activities. Some beneficiaries of the program have publicly voiced concerns about the transparency and integrity of the CBI process. As wealth and power become concentrated among a small group of elites who have political connections, my straight talk family, the system becomes increasingly prone to exploitation by those with influence, just as pirates once took advantage of the lawless seas. While not all government officials involved in CBI programs engage in such behavior, the vast sums of money at play, combined with with the complexity, I should say, of international finance and immigration, create fertile ground for corruption and abuse. In this context, the term pirates and buccaneers can indeed be applied to those in government, the present government, who bypass the law, manipulate the system, and enrich themselves at the expense of the public good. To protect the integrity of our CBI program, St. Kitts Nevis must enforce stringent oversight, transparency, and accountability to prevent this modern-day piracy from becoming further entrenched within the government systems. And my straight dog family, growing up in St. Kitts Nevis as a young boy, or as young boys we should say, we always heard that birds of a feather flock together. But now we have examined the CBI under this July Labour administration. The lessons we have learned after 2.5 years is criminal minds break asunder. We must therefore protect our federation from these CBI pirates and buccaneers in and outside cabinet. And that's my story tonight, my straight dog family. I tarried for a long time, but this was important to make the point. We had to make the point of this hypocrite July and his cabinet, because they says all sorts of things, when in fact just last year, my straight dog family, just last year, in November 2023, I'll leave you with this again, my straight dog family, they executed an agreement with the fraudster. But that's my story for tonight, my straight dog family, and I am not going to change it. I will open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. And when I do so, my straight dog family, I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us try to say and do those things that are beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of doing and or saying those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. At 9:24, my Street Talk family, I go to the lines and say, good night, call. Yes, my brother, the Bible man. Good night, sir. How are you tonight?
I'm fine, Mr. Martin. I see you going on bad boy.
No, I'm just talking my mind.
Yeah. But you're that mine now.
Please.
I did week I was saying. I must yesterday. The eyes of the Lord to and fro, holding the good and the bad. And I said, Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth,
so shall he reap, yes.
That he shall also reap. Mr. Paget, you cannot plant potato vine and expect to reap yam. You cannot plant yam and expect to reap nothing. But Lord, He catch upon you one of these good days. Paget, we are in a life. We are living a life. And as the Bible said in Psalm 41, and I got even like to hear me say so, but I can say it tonight. Psalm 41, blessed is the man that considereth the poor. In the time of trouble, the Lord shall deliver him. That is, we are living as a born again believers. They are living to live again. And who not born again, they are going to meet up the white throne judgment. So Patty, they could do all what they want now. And as you live, I saw you some man live, I saw you die.
Okay.
So I am encouraging you to hold fast on the Lord, Mr. Patches.
Thank you, my brother.
The Bible says Hebrews chapter 9 is an appointment unto man who wants to die.
Yes, my
but after that is his judgment. Mr. Patrick, you have a pleasant night.
Have a pleasant night as well. And you know, when we go before the Almighty for the judgment, you can't take no witnesses, you know. You got to be all by yourself. Can't call no witnesses. Call your life. Thank you for holding.
Oh boy. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night, my brother.
Brother Patches. Good night to all the listeners, far and near. Patches.
So.
Tonight is the most firing, interesting, knowledgeable, educational program that you have ever done so far, and it haven't even done yet.
I'm humble.
Listen, I've been waiting for this breaking of Philip Martinez moving forward with what scandal. If St. Kitts people are sleeping now, wake up and listen to what's going on into your country. My friend, all of these ministers and government authoritarian, recycled politicians, they need not just to resign, they need to be going to jail for this problem, this corruption within stem from the CBI. They are kleptocrats. They steal the money. They launder the money. They misappropriate the money from local to international and exclude the proclaimant act that is so deemed and proper, and that protocol should be followed. They all have to go. St. Kitts people, tomorrow morning, go to government headquarters and demand all these recycled politicians out of that office. I am not calling for violence, but sing that song in harmony. They have stolen the wealth from the country. They have corrupted. They have used quid pro quo to get themselves out. And let me just dive into this.
Quickly, sir.
The release of Dr. Douglas that Philip Martinez decided to exclude from the lawsuit. That is so damn cynical and wrong. Philip Martinez, let me give you a word of advice, and let me give you my word. I like what you did when you start, and I'm not going to shoot down Mark Brantley. I beat him up a couple of times, but that is one of the best things that Mark Brantley did to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Even though Barbados did not accept Philip Martinez, Mark Brantley did the best thing, because if Mark Brantley did not invite Philip Martinez into the Federation, nothing like this would have been revealed. Thank you, Mark. That's the best thing you did.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm going to tell you, Patches, there are people you love, you like, and you back. All of them are involved. And we need where the money is, and whatever settlement come out of this with individuals, we need to know.
Okay.
The truth of this matter don't trickle down to the common man.
Okay, my brother.
There are lots of people need to come in. But Patches, is it possible you could ask your sponsors to extend your show to about 5 more hours tonight? Please.
I don't have sponsors. I don't have sponsors, though.
We will make up the difference.
Okay, but
we
thanks a
will
lot.
make up the difference.
Okay, thanks a
You will
lot.
have more than talk, because a lot of voices to be heard tonight, Patches.
Okay, my
it's
brother.
not easy.
Yes, but thanks a lot. Let's get the voices coming in then. Thanks a lot for your.
I will step aside. Thank you. I'm coming again.
Thank you
Bye for now.
Thank you very much. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. It's 9:32. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Mr. Liburd. The quotation for this evening. The man who does not do his own thinking is a slave and is a traitor to himself and to his fellow men. I repeat, the man who does not do his own thinking is a slave and is a traitor to himself and to his fellow men. Have a great evening.
Is a slave. Is a slave.
The man who does not do his own thinking is a slave and is a traitor to himself and to his fellow men.
To himself and his fellow men. Thank you. He always has some very nice quotations.
Thank you.
And his fellow men. Thanks a lot. That caller always provides some very thought-provoking quotations, and to his fellow men, I can write a shorthand. But yes, my Street Talk family. Let's go back. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Mr. Liburd, man. Good evening, man. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Pretty good. I kind of just decided to see if I could get in really early tonight, because I just want to ask you maybe for a few minutes of your time, man.
Yeah, but I can give you.
Yeah, okay. Let me get to it. Let me get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. For me right now, man, I'm really upset with what I'm seeing in my own country. I'm very, very upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
We have some leaders. They are very, very corrupted, man. They don't have no integrity. The people of St. Kitts and Nevis, they are sleeping. It's as if like somebody can just come and pick up St. Kitts and Nevis and roll out with the 2 islands and drop it somewhere else in the world. And the people inside the 2 islands, they won't even know what happened. They're sleeping and they're snoring hard. Somebody need to pour some water over these people to wake them up. What I'm hearing and what the world is hearing that's going on in St. Kitts and Nevis, It's absurd. All of the politicians there are corrupted. I don't care who wants to defend and who wants to slide wine. They are super duper corrupted. They are recycled politicians that need to go home. The country will never progress with this saga that's hanging over this country. We heard so much talk about Team Unity being caught up with scandals. And look, there's people who's getting their hands greased and they are defending or they're being quiet. They're not saying nothing. They don't want to talk about the real issues that's going on in the country. Money run things. And the people are letting the politicians them move with this money all the time. Every project that's running, they are moving with the money out of these projects, and the projects are not getting completed. This guy, Philippe Martinez, I don't know if we want to call him a whistleblower or we just want to call him a fraudster. You know what I'm saying? Patches, when you see what I'm happening, you cannot condone it.
True.
Listen to what your elders say, man. The harborer of the thief is worse than the thief. In certain instances, the accomplice of the crime get punished more than the person that does the actual act. People in St. Kitts and Nevis got to gain the courage. I'm encouraging the young people to get involved in their political affairs.
Okay, my brother.
You all have to get involved.
Yes, man. I want to take some more calls, but thanks for your intervention. I have some people holding. Are you there? Yes.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'll come back in later. Thanks, man. No problem.
Thanks a lot, my brother. Thanks a lot. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. How is the major tonight? How is the major?
I listen to you, but I just want to ask you two questions. I want to ask you two questions. As a teacher, Sunday school teacher or a classroom teacher?
Whichever you choose, my brother. Whichever you choose, major. I can sit in both.
But the choice is yours, I just want to know because I'm learning. I'm learning from you.
Just give me Psalm 23. That's an easy one then.
All right then. All right. Well, it's just two things. One is a buccaneer, and they say a buccaneer is supposed to be a robber.
What's the point?
That's what my dictionary told me. Is a robber and a pirate. And then the other one I want to say to you, I don't know, I'm not blaming anybody, but just saying what the thing say. A buccaneer is a pirate, a robber, and he most of the times he rob you on high seas. And he do writing without permission.
Okay.
And the other one is that what is the result of success? You just tell me what you think, and I will tell you what I think.
You tell me, man. You're the teacher tonight. You just say I'm in the class. You say I'm in the class. So.
All right. Well, what is the result of success? I'll just give you 3 and even 5. I'll give you 5. One, perfection. Listen?
Yes, I got you.
2, hard work. 3, learning from failures. 4, loyalty. And 5 is persistence. Persistence, you can't be obstinate. You have to be steady. You cannot be obstinate. You have to be steady. And because of that, we have to hold fast. Because being steady, you can't be steady and obstinate. You're stubborn.
Okay.
And because you're stubborn, to me, success is the spring of life. Success is the spring of life. Everyone is invited to quench their thirst. Everyone is invited to quench their thirst. In these things, there can be without these things, you can't have the constant joy. Okay. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. success, profession, hard work, learning from failures, loyalty, and persistence. You go back to the lines. Thank you, caller, for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Patrick. How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
I'm here, I'm fine. I think I found myself becoming a student of your class. But I'll be honest with you, I took my time and listened to you on Mondays and Thursdays because I love knowledge and I do my research. That's how you're very good in doing your research, and I do my research the same way like you. So I'm a student that is very hard to persuade. I does not start with the subject from in the beginning, in the middle. I take the subject from the root, from the beginning.
That's a good way.
And I recognize that you take this subject, this taboo, I would use the word, a heavy word, taboo, that our country facing today by, this situation, critical situation, but all that will play out itself, it will go away. Because it's our country and we have to defend it, in a severe way and an upright way. And not bring it down, not rejoice because of incident or situation, or calamity, but we have to try to help our country to recover. But I say that to say this. You take this subject from in the middle. You didn't take it from the beginning. The taboo that we are facing, and many people would come and shout and shout and shout because some people does not be learned student. They're excited. So they does not grab the subject or grab the essence of the information that you're giving them and sift it out and see who is speaking the truth, because it's always in any situation one defends, other one is defending, and the next one is defending, but the truth stands in the middle by itself until it reveals itself. In this situation, Mr. Patrick, you have done a very good job tonight. I have to give it to you. I don't know if you were the teacher in your time, but I know you when I was a little boy, I'm younger than you. I raised up on Baker's Corner. But I'm actually saying to you, you have done a good job to persuade those who are not good learning students and can't analyze, but take it by excitement and run away with it. What you did tonight, Mr. Patrick? You started the subject on Mr. Joe with this situation. Who brought that man to the country? It brought by the guy in Nevis, Mark. Mark introduced him to Mr. Timothy. I'm taking it from the root. Mark introduced him to Mr. Timothy to do business in the country. Mr. Timothy sell him OTI.
No, the OTI was.
That's why we had to quarantine.
I just showed up. I just showed you the investment agreement, so correct that. But what you said, we said on the program. So you agreeing that you agree with what I said. He came in. He was deported from Barbados. He landed in. His eyes were opened by Mark Brantley, and so Tony opened Nevis Treasury, right? And yes, he came to St. Kitts, and but Joe was saying he had nothing to do with him. But Joe was telling a blatant lie. I just put up on this.
But let me keep Jew out of the song. Let me keep Jew. Let me don't put Jew forward. Let me start it from the beginning.
We don't.
Mr. Patrick, that's not how you teach a student, Mr. Patrick. That's not how you educate a student, Mr. Patrick.
Let's not argue. Okay?
No, we are not arguing. Yeah, we're arguing for sense of reasoning.
No, but let's not argue. Let's not cross talk. Because if we cross talk, we need to argue.
Okay, guys.
We agreed, as you just said, which I said before, that he came here through Nevis, right? He was deported from Barbados, declared a persona non grata. There's a contact lady who was working in Nevis from Barbados, who used her influence, and he got into Nevis. As a matter of fact, I can say this, that the CMO, Dr. Laws, did not approve their admittance. Their admittance is the right word, I hope. He's being admitted to Nevis. And the equivalent, not really the equivalent, I think it was Dr. Nisbet, I think she's in Nevis, right, overlooked certain things because we were under quarantine, right? So we agreed on that. So why should we leave you cannot leave Dr. July out, because Dr. July said he had nothing to do with him. When in fact, I put up this on your screen, I can post it again. This agreement was signed, it was signed just last year.
Yes, elementary, in an elementary way, not understanding the nature of the man.
Let me ask you a question. So I mean, you tell me it take you 2 years to know he's a convicted fraud? He just found out that just the other day? But let me ask you something. These things happen,
Mr. Patrick. This is the real, man.
No, that's unacceptable. That is unacceptable. But he released Douglas, right, from the RICO case. And you always call him. Well, he said he did nothing wrong. He said there was an agreement. I don't know. That's all he said. He wasn't commenting on it. I listened to him on another program.
So what do you think he released Douglas, Mr. Patrick? Why he released?
But he said that Douglas.
But let me tell you why he released Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you information. I'm very close to the former Prime Minister. Let me tell you why he released Douglas. Because
you're close to Douglas, you said?
Yes, I'm very close to. I'm one of his advisors. Yeah. Let me let you know this, right?
So who is the better Prime Minister, Douglas or Joe?
Who is the better Prime Minister? Yeah. Douglas is the better Prime Minister, but we're not going to go down to the jail with all of that.
So you think we should get rid of Joe now and appoint Douglas? What do you think?
Well, I would not say that publicly. You will not get that out of my mouth. That is personal.
So you are an advisor to Douglas.
He was the better Prime Minister.
No, but he was
the better Prime Minister. Was the better. He's not the Prime Minister right now.
So would you recommend that we tell Joe go sit down, as the snake would say in Nevis, and appoint Douglas? Huh?
I would recommend that he should listen to me, Mr. Patrick. I would recommend that he listen to me. You asked me a question. I give you my opinion.
Yeah, quickly.
I would recommend that he should listen to Mr. Douglas a little more tenderly.
Okay.
Take his advice a little more.
Okay.
Do not mean of his own understanding, and some of those rookie advisors that he have, like Edinburgh and all these people, come to the fullness and lean more to the former Prime Minister Douglas, because Douglas had declared himself in the House Assembly he's not doing no business with that man. Play back the tape with him. He has not doing no business with that man. And they took this former Prime Minister name, they take it back to the man, then he involved Douglas in the last show. Douglas was not there from the beginning.
Okay, but
Timothy was in the last show.
I got to,
not Douglas.
I have to go. I have some people waiting on the lines, and you always upset my listeners, but I'll give you extra time. But I'll give you 5 seconds. I'll wrap up in 5 seconds.
Okay, Mr. Patrick. You don't like to hear my facts, but I am not a stupid guy.
You say nothing.
I know, but you don't give other guy from Nevis a lot of shambles to say, you know. But let me say this to you: I am not a stupid guy. I sift out the sense from the nonsense. I'm a good student in the class. Maybe not in my days because of the struggle of life, but I'm a very good student. I have a good analyzation within myself. I can analyze and I can work out anything from the sense to the nonsense for myself. So I know what you're saying tonight. You're putting all the blame on you, and you're just putting Timothy as a baby. But Timothy created the taboo in our country. Thank you, Mr. Patrick.
Thank you very much. That's what Straight Talk is all about. Have a good night as well. That's what Straight Talk is all about. You're entitled to your view. You just said that he was brought here by Mark Brantley. Obviously, the cabinet trusted Mark Brantley, would have done his due diligence, but obviously he did not. And Drew pretended he didn't know, when he was in fact speaking with him, when we knew he was a fraud. How on earth Drew just found out in the last show of rain, as we say, that Philip Martinez is a gangster. Or as he put it, he said Philip Martinez is a fraudster. This is what Drew said belatedly. All of a sudden, he distanced himself from him, and he told you why.
And so after I better understood, and we understood, we distance ourselves from him because of this past. And I will never risk the integrity of our country or the PM's office or the CBI program with such a character. It's a serious matter. The MSR gentleman has made repeated statements in various media, including on programming that he himself produced, which are misleading at best and in some instances flatly untrue. We're dealing with somebody who is convicted of fraud and spent jail time for fraud, who should not be in our program in the first place.
So we ask yourselves the question, when did Dr. July find that out? Because just last year, November, Dr. July signed this agreement, or his administration signed this agreement. Or to be specific, it was signed by his permanent secretary and witnessed by his attorney general. So when did you find all of that out? Did it take him 2 years to find out that Philippe Martinez went to jail? We knew that. We knew that all the time. At least I knew that over a year and more. And I always spoke about it here on Straight Talk. July's permanent secretary signed that investment agreement on the 13th of November 2023. Look at it on your screen. Look at the signatures. One of the signatures is his Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs, Garth Lucifer Wilkin. So who can he fool? Why are you allowing him to fool you, my brother, who has just called? No. Stand up and speak the truth. And I said to you, as fraudster, as fraudulent may be the right term I use, as Philippe Martinez may be, I believe Philippe Martinez, Jew, is a liar. Jew is a liar. And that's my humble view, my Straight Talk family. The lines are open. I know some of the callers chatted a little longer than they ought to have done. But I'm normally tolerant when it comes to our callers. And our email reads, just a question, with such a major partnership, were there any representatives from Tabasco? Reads this email. That's probably one coming up from last or following up. I would really like to know what was the sidebar deal and agreement made between Martinez and his lawyer and Douglas and his lawyer that prompted Martinez to let Dougie off the hook. It has to be much more than the questionable reason, given that the Federation will severely suffer. Dougie was more concerned about himself and not the Federation. Boy, Dougie, you cannot fool us. We know you very well. Reads this email. This other email reads, Dwyer, I am happy to hear you calling on the AG to resign based on lies. His incompetence and his very poor performance in your court before the judge in the CBI case, reads this email. But he will not, as numerous calls has been made before, when the judge found that he had broken the Social Security laws. If he was a man of principle, he would have resigned the post immediately, but he has no shame, no integrity, no standards, no uprightness or virtues or scruples. But yet he declared in Parliament that he is proud to be the person enacting good governance laws. Shame on you, you joker. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Hey, greetings, brother Patches.
Greetings, my brother.
Yeah, this is Ras Kalonji.
Yes, Kalonji.
Yeah, this is a very interesting program.
Thank you.
You know? But what I'm saying, my brother, as you know my position, it is time for us to repent as a people because we have sinned against each other. You understand what I'm saying? This is a very serious thing, especially at this time with the geopolitical situation that is confronting us globally. You understand? My position is Mr. Martinez is an agent. I'm going to tell you straight up. And we people got to be cognizant of these things. Right? I might be wrong. Right? That is my position. I might be wrong that he's an agent. But based on what I'm see that he's doing,
he's an investor.
I think he's an agent. Excuse me?
He's an investor.
He's an agent for the United States government.
Oh, that's something different. I don't know. But
that's what
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I thought you were referring to the CBI program. You know?
Yeah. I'm dealing with the MSR man.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you're gonna refer to him in the context of the CBI, he is an investor. If you say he's an agent in a CBI context, you would tend to send the wrong message.
No, why I'm saying he's an agent is because the United States government want to mash up the CBI.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You see, we've been making all these accusations. I'm not saying there was misdeed in the CBI program. Don't get me wrong. I'm a nationalist. And we have to protect our people's interests. Because that is my position, right? I'm saying to you that this thing is bigger than we think. For instance, the case in the United States, the RICO Act is what the charges come under, you know. The RICO Act is that the CBI is under RICO. You know, they use that in the United States to go after the mafia. You know that?
Make your point, man. Make your point.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that the RICO Act, the basic essentials of the RICO Act, that the CBI is a criminal enterprise. When you charge with RICO, because they charge us in the United States, my organization with RICO, you know. But we want the case. That's what they do to people who are so-called, fighting for black people's rights. So they use the RICO Act, even though they use it against the mafia. They use it against groups, individuals who are fighting for the liberation of African people. You see, what I'm saying, we got to make these things aware to our people. This is a very serious matter, because when that go to the United States and you get charged with RICO, they're telling you that you're running a criminal enterprise.
Yeah, but this is a civil matter as was taken out by under the RICO Act.
But you got
civil lawsuit. So I mean, but you got to put this in perspective. You just can't start to speculate like that. The fact is,
I'm not speculating.
Yeah, but you say, but I don't want to argue with you, right? I don't want to argue. But
no, I'm not arguing. We're discussing it.
Yeah, okay. I don't. But let's be clear. Philippe Martinez went and took out a lawsuit under the RICO Act, and that is what you have to say, right? But
exactly,
the RICO Act also has a criminal component when you're talking about mafia and so on. So I don't want to equate both of them. That's the point I'm making.
No, but what I'm saying, if you charge with the RICO, if you charge under the RICO Act, the basic meaning of the RICO Act that you're running a criminal enterprise. That's what I'm saying. If you read the RICO Act, they're telling you that once you charge with the RICO in the United States.
Nobody's charged with RICO. And a citizen of the United States, I think he is, I stand to be corrected, went and filed a lawsuit under the RICO Act. That is something entirely different to what you're saying. But
so what RICO?
My lines are going, so I'm going to give you 20 seconds to wrap up, please.
Okay, but so what you telling? So what you telling? What?
Make a point.
What is the mean? What is the meaning of RICO?
I'm not going into that. I'm saying to you that the case as it relates to the Douglas referred to and the Timothy Harris and the others is a lawsuit filed under the RICO Act, and that is a fact. So make your point. Make your point. I don't want us to.
Okay.
Make your point.
Okay.
Yeah, make it
okay. What
I'm 30 seconds and let's just take
what I'm saying in essence, brother, is that based on what is taking place geopolitically, these colonialists want to recolonize us as Eric Prince has stated. They want to put us back on the plantation.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. We people got to be conscious of these things. You see what they're waging a cold war against China right now, and that's what COVID was all about, to mash up our economy. So we got to depend on them. So I'm saying we people have to repent amongst ourselves and come up with solutions. You understand? To suss out our situation locally, so that we could move forward as a people.
Okay,
because we have sinned.
I've got you, my brother. I got you loud and clear. Thanks a lot.
So what I'm saying, I'm calling for the movement of national unity. That we got to sit down and suss out the differences among us instead of quarreling amongst ourselves.
And you're right. I support that. Except I must say to you, right? We just can't come together. If you're gonna come back in unity, if you want, as I call it, reconciliation.
But I have an idea.
But I want to make this final point, and I think we had this line tied up a long time. And I'm saying to you that there must be reconciliation, yes. But I like the Bishop Tutu approach. There must be truth and reconciliation. You just don't get.
I agree.
Okay, fine.
I agree. We should have truth and reconciliation.
Yes,
so let us start the process.
Yes, Kalonji. I think we had enough time. I had enough time with that 1 day or so. I'm going to go back to my lines. Okay? I'll call you live. Thank you for holding. Hello, caller?
Yes. Thank you, Patches. This is my second round. Patches, in respect to Philip Martinez, the previous caller said, yes, we believe Philip Martinez is an agent for the United States government, but he came in as an investor. And however, he got into Nevis. Moving forward, the plan was executed because something was wrong about the CBI program. And I'm going to tell you what is the United States interest. All the Caribbean islands are under the United States, border to the United States. And with the CBI program, they were bringing in country of threat citizens in the Caribbean because they cannot come here directly. They have to go through a protocol. They will be screened, they will be investigated, and they will be examined. So the Caribbean is the escape for them to come, and our governments allow them to come in under the so-called CBI. The CBI program was not deemed and proper to how it should have been, understand. So for the reason, there was an agent produced, whether he was a criminal, because sometimes it takes a thief to catch a thief and a criminal to catch a criminal. The United States protecting its borders because when any country, whether from Africa, China, Russia, they will be using the Caribbean islands as an entrance to the United States just by getting Saint and Nevis citizenship. And they will be funded for that. The United States is protecting its border, so they will do all means necessary. And that is where the United States government comes in, because they examine the kind of people and they don't want that to happen. The United States is very fragile, but they are on the offensive. Take that word. Okay. We don't want them to come down there, and America does not need to come here. So, if it's the way that they had to do it, Philip Martinez is an agent of the United States government. And I stand for correction.
Okay.
And I will pose it as an allegation until it's proven to be the fact.
Okay.
But there are more to become. But as I will finish up, all these government ministers who are involved, they should not just resign, but they should be prosecuted by a higher authority than them and go to jail and surrender all the money where they have a trail. I don't give a damn who they are. They betrayed the country. Treason.
Okay.
I will support that. And I am not going to change it. They all to be investigated, scrutiny. And how they become so rich. They sold out the country. They are Judas, a lot of them. They sold out the country for 30 pieces of silver.
Okay, got you, my brother. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, thank you for holding your live.
Blessed night, brother Patches.
How is Ras Ayag? Pleasant night to you, my brother.
Me giving thanks. I just come out and I have been meeting, so just let me come in and get a little word sound to your program.
It went well?
Yeah, man, we're fully setting up for the 90th anniversary of the Buccaneers uprising, so everything is taken in the gist of it going forward, you know. We stand for the ancestors who sacrificed for us. That's why we should be honoring our ancestors at this time instead of going this back and forth for political power, you know. But blessed night to your people within the shores of St. Kitts and Nevis, and within your utilizing your Facebook and your YouTube feed as the media feed. We just like to look at what your state within the program that is a program that's supposed to enhance the development of St. Kitts and Nevis, and seeing how things are playing out now in this time with this old person come out to say that he's bringing out relevant info tools in impacting about what he has seen have done wrong to corruption. Well, I remember you from your starting and some discussion prior to the same Philip Martinez. You say he's a faster, right? Some kind of chickster, whatever he is.
Convicted fraudster, they say.
Okay, so if a person like that is convicted and is not in jail, that means he's an agent of the old dirty CIA and the FBI. I mean, if you have to say so. I mean running behind nobody to ask them, either yes or no. I mean, that is true. Because once you is them kind of thing and you're still outside doing as you're doing as a normal citizen, that means you're an agent of the CIA and the FBI and all those other agents of the MIS and the MI6 and all them there. These are things that captivate on the ground of our people. We have to really know who we're dealing with around here. Not just in a St. Kitts and Nevis, outside. Because the program in itself don't deal just from here. It deals further abroad. And you know that, right, Brother Patches?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, so it's time now with people get a clear view. How are the players behind this program? Because from hearing from the first Prime Minister's statement, that he said when they introduced the program, it was to first start within assuring getting condominium development from you paid last time you was on aid on Monday. Now seeing what we see now tonight to this formality of the program still. That means saying that all the aspect of what we're seeing damaging today is because we didn't take the initiative stand to make sure that we educate the people about what the program is about and how far the program reaches. But we just saying, there's a lot of money in there, but the program is still being fraudulent by people who are trying to control it for their own personal gain. It's a whole crooked system I defend around here. That's why we're going to always have the children them suffocating because we not educate them the proper way. But you all have a blessed night, Brother Patches. Give thanks, yeah?
Give thanks, my brother. We go back to the lines. Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, let me get back in there, Patches, man, for a quick minute.
Sure.
Ras Ayer and Kalandri, they brought some different perspective. That's why I like when people come in with different views and opinions. Philip Martinez, right, when he spoke on that podcast, he did address some national security concerns. And Dr. Jew got to be paying attention to those things, him having that portfolio. Because I do not think America is going to stand for certain things happening in the Caribbean. And the one person that he said was dropped from the case, I don't think that's a good look for the Prime Minister. And that's probably one of the reasons why he canceled that cabinet meeting yesterday. If I was in his position, persons in my cabinet, if they're doing wrong, they will be expelled. They will have to resign and go home. I won't tolerate that as a leader. It seems like some undermining is happening. And what I'm seeing, The CBI program is going to come crashing down sooner or later. That's a dangerous program for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And going forward, we're going to see what's going to reveal itself more in the days and weeks coming. But thanks a lot, man. You guys have a good night.
Thank you for your intervention as well, my Straight Dog family. And I think the point has to be made, though, right? Because we were going to and fro with this Ras Kalunji, right? And we weren't getting across the main point. That is, the RICO action started by Philippe Martinez in a court, I think it's in Florida, right? Is in effect civil action, right? And I was trying to make the point that there are key differences here in that the outcome from a civil action, I believe, could be monetary compensation, or some other civil judgment, right? But the only private individuals can initiate civil action under the RICO Act. Now, when it comes to criminal action, then under the RICO Act in the U.S., the U.S. government is the only ones who can initiate that, and the prosecutors can initiate those action. And that has to be established. So, I mean, this sort of lot of speculating we have going to and fro, I don't subscribe to it. But I understand, I respect what you're saying, but these are the facts. Civil versus criminal. They're two different things. There are key differences between them, my Straight Dog family. Good night, Dr. Liburd reads this email, Mr. Liburd. Here, Patches is good. Thank you for providing this forum through which like-minded patriots are free to address the pressing issues of our nation. National heroes are praised most often in September, but in reality, national heroes are needed on the forefront every day to act bravely in the defense of our people. Those positioned to do so should not shy away from the challenges but tackle them head on. I speak tonight to one who, in my estimation, already qualifies as a national hero. We the people wait expectantly for you, Dr. Denzel Llewellyn Douglas, to step up and be counted as the man you are. Simply the best, better than all the rest. You do not belong with that band of vagabonds in red. They deceived all of us by hiding under the banner of labor and even calling on the name of God to solidify their deception. They hold true to none of the principles of the Labour Party. They are greedy, unsympathetic to the poor, lazy and incompetent. Disassociate yourself from them, Dr. Douglas. Walk away. You do not need them. We, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, are counting on you in your integrity and genuine love for your country to save our nation from, we believe in you, reads this email. This other email reads, a number of people are saying that his roundtable discussion a few days ago turned out to be a square table discussion. Simple question. He cannot unanswer. He had to carry the journalists all around the mulberry bush before telling them a pack of lies for an answer. Cursing and abusing Martinez at this point is useless. All the bad things he said about Martinez is stale news to us. All because Martinez shamed and publicly exposed his lies, deceit, and bad governance. Everything he tried to blame Harris, stating that Harris is the one who brought him in the CBI. So what? And who cares? That is what the journalist was saying to you when he asked you who is the one that brought him into the Federation. That is the point. He shamefully had to admit it was Mark Brantley who brought him into Nevis, beg your pardon, under questionable conditions. But initially, he wanted to give the impression that it was Harris. The man is to lie, he cannot be trusted. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller?
Yes, but this is my turn. I already told you.
It's after 10 o'clock.
I asked you to extend to 5 more hours, you know.
No. I just realized it's after 10 o'clock. Well, go ahead. Yes. Make it quick.
I'm gonna wrap up.
Yes.
Now, coming to Philip Martinez and whatever happened between Denzel Douglas and that meeting, and Denzel Douglas has been relieved from the case. There is more than that. I think there was a quid pro quo, and then Denzel Douglas is a part of this corruption in the CBI. Okay? I think all these money that are missing and discovered are yet to be revealed. Is out there, and Douglas is involved.
But wait, please, now. We're gonna rationalize these things properly and straight talk, right? The only monies that can be missing from the CBI are the monies for the fees. The fees, if you look at the legislation, the government collects fees. Are you saying fees are missing? Don't buy this nonsense talk about money missing. Under this, baby, please, I need to guide you so I could understand my viewership or my listeners would understand. Under the CBI, when these shares are being sold, the government under the public benefit options. Let's look at the prison. Let's look at the prison since we talk a lot about it. 5,000 shares of 5,500 shares were approved, I understand. All that the government gets from that is 5,500 by the maximum $60,000 each. Depends on, it's $60,000 per family of 4. So that's why in the revenue in the budget estimates you find he spoke about $6 million, right? Those are the only things that due to government. And what the investor, the only commitment the investor has to the government is to deliver an asset, a capital project, an asset which is the prison to the government when it's done. That's all. So this thing about money missing, I'm not going to buy that on this program. Go ahead.
Let me correct. Let me just explain. I am not denying whether it's fees or whatever.
Yeah, but there's no money missing. And don't tell me about the money missing. This nonsense. Nonsense. But I'm not just talking to you, because that is what they're being peddled outside there. But give them 90 days to pay some difference and so on. Nonsense.
I am acknowledging your correction. But all I can say, okay, I'm going to touch Philip Martinez too. My concern is the way Douglas was revealed. I'm not against Douglas. But if something happened, we need to know the damn truth. Okay? And the fact is, why Douglas being released so easy, we need to know the transcript, the nature why he has been released. His name is plat up, whether it's defamation, whether it's allegation, it needs to be clear. We can't just dismiss it and let it go just like that. And Philip Martinez, to me, he started out as in good faith of the citizens of St. Kitts. Okay? But for all these payoff that he need now and demanding, if he does, I stand for correction. He turn or you turn, because it's all about money for him. Okay? Continue with the good faith, and then you will be rewarded later on down. But don't inject a demand right now, because the situation is still unfolding and progressing. So if he make a U-turn on that, to say a way out is X and X of money, X and X of payoff, a quid pro quo, that's unacceptable.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye
thank
now.
you for your. And just for information again of my Straight Dog family, this is what Philip Martinez said about the releasing from the RICO case of Denzel Douglas. This is what he said.
Over the past 10 days, Mr. Bulora, the president of my company, who is a former US government official, went to St. Kitts and Nevis so that with my lawyer in St. Kitts, Mr. Damien Kelsick, could meet Mr. Denzel Douglas, foreign minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. They had several meetings with Mr. Douglas and his legal advisors. Those meetings were very, very important. Mr. Bulora is now back in the United States. and he has given me a full report on the content of those meetings. Based on that report, I have decided to instruct my lawyer to release Denzel Douglas from the RICO case. He's out. Denzel Douglas has discussed with my team in a very open way and has understood the gravity and the catastrophic possible scenario that could come on the country.
And we can't get clearer than that. And I've heard on DBS St. Lucia an interview just yesterday. I listened to it. I didn't get the sound bite because my app was not allowing me to. But he did in fact said there was no arrangement, no particular agreement between them. So why should I speculate? That's the facts we got. I am confused. Douglas is out of the lawsuit. A lot of mention is made of PM and Attorney General. Why? Why not? You're not mentioning the former PM, he says. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Hello? Are you there, caller? Hello? Okay, that call is not answering. Yes, as we're gonna perhaps take a few more calls and we wrap because I didn't realize it's gone past 10 o'clock. Patches, nobody should listen to July when he's talking about the CBI. This liar don't care about it. It's all talk. During his so-called round table, July named out some of the things that the CBI is paying for and how important it is. Glenn Barth asked a follow-up question about the CBI. I was shocked when I heard that what July said to Glenn Barth. Why are you always asking about the CBI if you can't ask some other question? Why is July afraid to answer questions about the CBI? This is the second time I heard him said that to Glenn Barth, my straight talk family. Night Patches, please tell Major to complain. We the listeners are listening to Straight Talk, so stop the diplomacy. He may have to fall back in. With this email. Patches, we are all aware that Mark Brantley brought emissary Martinez to Nevis. Can you tell the viewers and listeners who brought him to St. Kitts? Well, he was invited or introduced, if I recall, by Mark Brantley to the then Prime Minister, Timothy Harris, who was in fact at the time, he was Prime Minister, yes, and Mark was, I was going to say Mark was part of the cabinet, so I'm not trying to cover for anybody, but I think the cabinet trusted Mark. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Good night, sir. This what? Or Martinez. Yeah, Martinez, yes. Well, what's his name? Then Prime Minister said it was gathered. Do I ask the fan?
Caribbean. At the end, Santos is in prison. As Martinez needs to be in prison.
Okay.
And the blame fall on Mark Brantley. Because he knows we would have COVID. Why he should invite the man to the Federation when he know what's really going on.
Okay.
And the Prime Minister presently know he was a doctor at the hospital. And they should never override Dr. Laws.
Okay.
To let him come in for money.
Okay, my
and
brother.
These are things that we all need to open our eyes and speak about.
Okay.
Stanford and Martinez, both of them are the same.
Okay.
The Americans and they try to come
Okay, man.
and give people money and leave us here in a crumb so we can fight and argue with each other.
Okay. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
have a good night.
Have a good night as well, my dear brother.
Yes.
Yes. So, miss that call there. Yes, my straight up family, as we wrap up, perhaps take two more calls before I wrap tonight's programming. Yes, it's long past my time. I gave you back some extra time because it's an interesting topic as well. And Patches, you usually have the facts. Do you have the facts of the 14 persons to be named by Mr. Martinez? We would like to know 14 persons. Well, he's been very cagey about the amendment to his RICO lawsuit. So I hopefully in time we'll get that, my Straight Talk family. But as we wrap tonight's programming, perhaps take maybe two more calls, make this my penultimate call. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Patches, greetings.
Greetings,
at least I get a squeeze in, and that is so good. Mr. Patches, from Philip Martinez entered Nevis, he entered the Federation.
That is true.
So I don't know what the big qualms. Why everything got to be surround Dr. Timothy? I mean, he was Dr. Timothy at the time. He was, let's say, the head of the country. He wasn't the head of PLP. He was the same saying it. Sometimes I just don't understand why everything so must be surround Timothy.
You know, you made a point. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You made a point that we have overlooked, right? He entered in Nevis, so he automatically entered the Federation.
It's not true.
He could take a boat and come down.
Yeah, so why must I don't understand.
Very interesting.
And one more thing, Mr. Patches. When the story first broke some time back, and it had encountered talk about St. Lucia. I mean, look at the stand at the time the Prime Minister took of St. Lucia and this new words that he had said at the time, compared to at the time when the story broke, the ministers who were responsible, the more try to talk of themselves, to represent themselves. They even when National Bank was, you hear the talk of National Bank, you hear a strong defense in the country towards the National Bank and all them, to representing the people. So when you hear Philip Martinez in his interview the other day, and we always hearing about the signing of the sales of the passport is Timothy and this and that and that. But when you hear Martinez says Timothy was right with what he was saying, I know as a Prime Minister, I would have come back with my evidence to say, no, Martinez is wrong, because this is my evidence. I have not said anything, because it's evidence to evidence. They're not talking, it's evidence.
Yes.
So that is what struck me in the interview with Martinez. And the other thing what struck me with his interview too, he said he brought charges of corruption and this and that and that and that to the Attorney General. I would have been listening out to hear, yeah, he did brought those things to us. And we address them, because this case should not have been in a RICO case. We should have been hearing this case in St. Kitts, seeing that the evidence is based around us. So if you bring the evidence to us, why didn't we look at it and see really if it's relevant? Mr. Patches, you have a very good night.
Thank you,
and you continue to be strong.
Thank you, my brother. Be strong as well. Perhaps I'll take this and make this my final call for the night. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Hi, Patrice.
Hi, how about thou?
Hi, Patrice. I'm good. Mark Grant is the one that play up this Martinez thing. I remember one Wednesday night, he said, so he passed remarks about Timothy, says something about Martinez. And since Mark talk about that, Martinez flare up. Mark is the one that play up this thing. Martinez, him come out and the next day Martinez come out and say, thank you, Mark Brantley. Wherever we went down in the thing, Mark is the one that flew up all these things because where Martinez was. Whatever, I don't remember the remarks that he passed, but here, pass a remark, and I said, but here, you know, and then after that, Martinez start up. So he's the one that flew up everything. So anyway, good night.
Good night, my dear. Thanks for your intervention. That's where we're going to end it with our calls tonight because my time is done. But he said this as well.
Talk about the famous speech of Terence Drew at the Parliament. Madam Speaker, they gave 22,000 passports to the jail project, Madam Speaker. They, meaning the Harris administration. So let me finish the speech for you, Terence Drew. Because in the last month, I have the information and the document. Let me finish the speech for you. Madam Speaker, they gave 22,000 passports for the jail project, which is 45% of the population of the country, to Chinese people that we don't know where they're coming from, and the due diligence is compromised. I have processed those passports illegally sold under the legal price by at least $100,000 myself, Madam Speaker. The vast majority of them, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when Philippe Martinez told me that we have found the fact that Galaxy was using a fake due diligence company, I did not tell those Chinese nationals to come in St. Kitts to do fingerprint in person, Madam Speaker. You want to do, Madam Speaker? We can do, Madam Speaker, all the time. Because I have the full documentation to prove what I'm saying. And we're going to subpoena every government employee that was involved.
Yes, my Straight Talk family. July told so many lies. But as I conclude, my Straight Talk family, the idea of buying access to a country's privileges, to a country's rights and benefits in exchange for a financial contribution is a way of framing citizenship as a commodity or luxury rather than a birthright or earned status. Thus, the idea of citizenship by investment, pirates and buccaneers, indeed applies to certain government officials or figures who may misuse or exploit citizenship by investment programs for personal gain, often at the expense of public or national interest. And these individuals, whether directly involved in government or in positions of influence, can be considered as modern-day pirates or buccaneers, using their power or connections to profit from these programs, my Straight Talk family, in ways that are ethically or legally questionable. And Terence Michael July knows. He knows that too well, my Straight Talk family. He knows that too well. That is why he's convinced Philippe Martinez that he would need him as an investor. If he won the election, he won, and he won, albeit by default. And my Straight Talk family, I advance some information tonight, which I'll leave with you. Because I'm sure you did not believe what happened after August 2022 in terms of his dealing with Philippe Martinez, his meaning Terence Michael July. 1 year and 6 months thereafter, the Labour government hear this, 1 year and 6 months thereafter, the Labour government under Terence Michael July executed this investment agreement dated the 13th of November 2023. And you would believe, my Stray Dog family, that July was so innocent. It was Harris. Everything is Harris. Goes back to Harris. But examine, look at the signatures on that document of the 13th November 2023. The permanent secretary, I think it's Blanchett's signature. Look at the signature there, my Stray Dog family. Look at it. But look at the signature of the witness. This document signed on the 13th of November 2023. Witness by Garth Lucifer Wilkin, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs in 2023. So when did he find out that Philippe Martinez was a crook? When did he find that out, my Stray Dog family? And I did not release this for you tonight as well, in terms of that WhatsApp message. That WhatsApp message will feature in the RICO case, all the cases. Remember this WhatsApp message my Stray Dog family sent by Garth Lucifer Wilkin? He called the project a scam. It is signed over 20,000 CORs, certificates of registration. But he called it a scam, my Stray Dog family. And as I said before, and I'll say in closing, Gada, Gerald Anthony, Dwight Astafan, and myself, we have not seen eye to eye for a long time. Now we have not agreed on several issues, as we have communicated for a long time, truth be told. And I don't totally agree with Gada when he raised this, or he made this point, my Stray Dog family. Gada said this about the Attorney General, Garth Lucifer Wilkin. Listen carefully.
It does not help the government's position that its principal legal advisor has stated that the Galaxy jail thing was a good scam. If that was his opinion, then why did his administration not act in accordance with it? You can't embrace a good scam. You can't countenance a good scam or a bad scam or any scam at all. You distance yourself from it and you punish as a government. So if that was his opinion, why did his administration not act in accordance with it? And if he changed his opinion, which of course he's entitled to do, the obvious question would be, why? Ladies and gentlemen, with respect, not personal animus. I'm just trying to make the case here for us to observe the truth and be fair. This situation makes one wonder if it is not the best thing in the interest of all concerned for Mr. Garth Wilkin to resign from the post of Attorney General.
And I'm not surprised, because Gada is an Aquarian, We speak our minds. I have said before that Garth Lucifer Wilkin, the Attorney General, should resign. I've advanced that position before. So yes, I concur with Gada. He must resign. But Terence Michael July must also resign for his misrepresentation and his condoning of wrongdoing in the country. That's my view, my Stray Dog family. But to protect the integrity of our CBI program, St. Kitts Nevis must enforce stringent oversight, transparency, and accountability to prevent such modern-day piracy from becoming further entrenched within the government systems. And my Straight Talk family, as we grew up, as young boys, we heard that birds of a feather, they flock together. My Straight Talk family, here, we have also learned, we've also learned as well, my Straight Talk family, that criminals or criminal minds break asunder. So as we wrap tonight, I also want to leave you with the position that we as a people always should maintain. That's the power that we have, the power of the people. As I always say, and let me remind you, as a friend of mine said, but the people, the power of the people means more than the people in power. And as a friend of mine would say, that we have a good paradise here in St. Kitts Nevis, but it is afflicted by bad leadership. The nation deteriorates or will continue to deteriorate, will continue to suffer under this incompetent Prime Minister due to poor, ineffective, and harmful leadership. Things are bad, my Straight Talk family. Bad in St. Kitts and Nevis. Not only Garth Lucifer Wilkin should resign, Gather, I believe we should go further. And Terence Michael July must also resign. That's the only way we can protect our federation from these CBI pirates and Buccaneers in and outside the cabinet. That's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight. As always, I want to thank you, the many viewers, those of you who listened, those of you who looked at your televisions, those of you who sent emails, and the many of you who called, my Straight Talk family. I just want you to be aware that you are the ones who make Straight Talk. And for that reason, I say a big thank you. And the final email reads, Patches the reporter Rankin asked July if he heard about the St. Kitts brush factory closed down last week and things are extremely rough in the country. July's reply was, what do you mean by extremely rough? The government is really out of touch with the people. Things are hard in the country. People can't find food to eat and money to pay their bills. They increased their salaries by 35% and they are living high. So they forgot about the poor people who voted for them. And that's where we're going to end it, my Straight Talk family. I want to thank you for you all make Straight Talk. So have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Be good to all whom you meet. Some people may go to the beach. I'm going to church to praise my Lord. Zion Moravian Church up there on Victoria Road. If you can, don't have a church, come to Zion. And my Straight Talk family, remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you've got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light and thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, until we connect on Monday, have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye. And keep moving on, my Straight Talk family.
mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceive that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. Down on my knees, to the Lord I kneel and pray, with my heart and soul, beg Him to take me through each day, my God, and to keep